Correction. Yesterday, I met with 2,000 Hispanic leaders from their communities, and today, the vice president led a phone call that I was on with hundreds of African American leaders, including the Reverend Jesse Jackson, including Derek Johnson of the NAACP, including the National Medical Association and the Black Nurses Association, to talk about some of the alarming trends we're observing regarding the impact of COVID-19 on communities of color. And you've heard the stats in New York City. Hispanics represent the majority of deaths. In Milwaukee County, Blacks are 25% of the population, but almost 50% of the cases and 75% of the deaths. So what's going on? Well, it's alarming, but it's not surprising that people of color have a greater burden of chronic health conditions. African Americans and Native Americans, develop high blood pressure at much younger ages. It's less likely to be under control and does greater harm to their organs. Puerto Ricans have higher rates of asthma, and Black boys are 3 times as likely to die of asthma as their white counterparts. As a matter of fact, I've been carrying around an inhaler in my pocket for 40 years out of fear of having a fatal asthma attack. And I hope that showing you this inhaler shows little kids with asthma all across the country that they can grow up to be Surgeon General one day. But I more immediately share it so that everyone knows it doesn't matter if you look fit, if you look young, you were still. If you look young, you were still at risk for getting and spreading and dying.
That I read on CNN, and I read a lot of news on CNN. And one of the articles that really affected me was a question to ask and actions to take to help Black Americans fight the virus. Because unfortunately, and it's not to our own fault, is the fact that, medical conditions disproportionately affect the Black community. We have higher incidences of heart rate, diabetes, and kidney disease because of a lot of social factors. And so, I think it's so important for us to think about, not only from my point of view, because Black community is my community, but thinking about your own personal communities, how this virus is affecting us daily, and how can we protect ourselves, protect our family, protect our community from being affected and having to deal with that fate that you saw that nurse go through. And so I just think it's so important that we take the time to figure out solutions to the problem. And I think that that's where our headspace should be at this point. We've been out for 3 weeks. This is going into the 3rd week of doing online school. And how can we design ways that we're going to improve our day-to-day existence? How are we going to fight the unknown, things that we don't see, but protect ourselves the same way? And one of the things I do encourage all of you guys to do is to think about what's your day-to-day actions of what you're doing every day, and to think about how we could affect and help other people have the same understanding that you've come to today to have today.